Oh, sun is shining. I just got back from doing some garlic checkups. Allie's garlic is growing amazing. Jason and Colleen, their garlic is growing amazing as well. And we've gotten some awesome updates from folks in the community that are also having tons of success with our garlic kits. But mine is a little behind. So for today, we're going to go through why my garlic is a little bit behind, then how we go about amending these beds and the soil for the growth phase coming up. And at the very end, I'm going to share one really interesting and exciting observation that I just made the other day. So as we begin diving in here, if you have any questions at any point, please leave those down in the comments here. I start my day by answering every single question that we get on YouTube, so you'll get a response from me super quickly. Now, the big first question here is, why is my garlic a little bit behind some of the individuals in the community? And there's two primary reasons for this. The first one is that snow that we got over the course of the winter. So recall from our last update, the bed had about 1.5 feet of snow on it, and that was really near the beginning of February. Today we are at March 9th, and so because of that, it's understandable that the garlic might just be a little bit behind. And the second piece is, take a look at me right now, and I am completely covered in shade, as are our plant babies. And so where I live, there is a mountain range right behind me, as well as my house, that essentially in these still shorter days of the year, create a big shade sail that goes over top of the vast majority of my garden. And it only now at the beginning of March starts to get its first bits of sunlight. So if your garlic babies are looking a little bit behind some of the other pictures that you've been seeing, know that I'm right there with you. And what's exciting is that I know from past seasons that I'm still going to end up with a really amazing harvest. And I was actually just digging through some video content from last year, and I actually still think that my garlic babies are a little bit ahead of where they were even last year. So I'm feeling really good about where we're at. And the really exciting part is that we are getting those longer days and are about to go into the growth phase. So the second part was, how do we amend this bed and the soil to help ensure that they have everything that they need to grow big and strong through the growth phase? And so there's a couple of things that we're going to do here. First, I want to go ahead and remove this leaf mulch. The reason why we're going to go ahead and remove the leaf mulch is because it has served its purpose keeping them warm through the winter. But because leaves are primarily just carbon material, there aren't really too many nutrients in there, which is what our garlic babies are needing right now. Alrighty, leaf mulch is off and they're looking really, really good. I'm really happy with where they're at for right now. So next up, we want to grab some worm castings. And what I'm going to do is sprinkle one handful of worm castings around each of the plants. All right, those are looking amazing. So next up, I'm going to sprinkle 1 tablespoon of our 444 superfood around each of them. So this is an organic fertilizer that's going to give them all the nutrients that they need to grow big and strong here. And at this point, you could water as well, but I've got some rain in the forecast, so I'm gonna let that work it down into the root zone. Oh, these babies look happy. Now that both of those pieces are on there, the last thing that I'm going to do is give it a new mulch. And I like to think of this as an active mulch. So we are going to grab 1 to 2 inches of compost, and we're going to essentially cover the entirety of the bed with that new, fresh 1 to 2 inches of compost. And the reason why I call it an active mulch is because it's not only going to be creating that warmth, but there's so many microorganisms in there and all of the organic matter, which is going to turn into more nutrients for our plant babies. So it's a lot more than just the carbon from our leaf mulch. Whew, those babies are looking good. So our garlic babies have everything that they need to grow big and strong over the course of the coming months here. But I did spot something in my yard just the other day that I'm going to try out with my garlic babies for this season. So just before I get to that little observation that I made, for those of you that I have not met before, I'm Jordan from Mind and Soil, where we're looking to introduce 1 million individuals to mindful gardening. So if you're looking for more peacefulness, more calmness, more restoration in your life, then go ahead and subscribe to our channel here, because we put out new videos just like this one every single week to be taking as much of the guesswork out of gardening as possible to help you experience the mental health benefits of it. So with that being said, I want to take you over here because check this out. So I was moving some structures around the other day and I had my DIY little greenhouse here sitting against the house. And when I picked it up, I noticed there was way more growth underneath it than directly outside it. Now, normally I don't use these structures until we start transplanting in a few months, but I started thinking maybe I could actually put that over the garlic babies to get it a little bit warmer. So take a look at this. Over the course of just the last week, I've popped this little other DIY greenhouse over some garlic babies, and look at how much larger they're already growing compared to those just outside it. So what I'm gonna do is now put that over top of the garlic babies to see how big of an impact that has on their growth. And I've placed that in the middle of the bed because the back of the bed gets significantly more sun. So I want to leave some of those exposed, some of the front exposed to get a nice cross section right in the middle. So if you want to see how it goes, let me know down in the comments and I can provide an update at some point through the growth phase for our garlic babies here. But this is what I love so much about gardening, always experimenting, playing around, finding new ways to grow. Just before you take off, if you want to see our step-by-step guide on how to grow garlic, you can click on the tile right up here. Otherwise, any questions that you have, go ahead and leave those in the comments. I can't wait to catch you on the next video, and go get those hands dirty.